So let's talk about a connection in your body that you've probably never even thought about, the one between your mouth and your heart. We're going to dive into a major scientific report to uncover how the health of your gums could have a direct and pretty serious impact on your heart. I mean, that sounds a little over the top, right? But what if I told you there's a ton of scientific evidence that suggests the answer is, yeah, maybe? Stick with us, because we're going to follow the trail of clues that connects what's happening in your mouth to the health of your heart. Okay, so to really get this, you have to understand just how massive these two issues are on their own. We're talking about two absolute giants in the world of public health affecting billions of people. But it's where they overlap that the story gets really fascinating. First up, let's talk about cardiovascular disease. And that number you see, 17.9 million, that's not a typo. That is how many people die from it every single year. It is, without a doubt, the world's #1 killer. We're talking about almost 1 in every 3 deaths worldwide. And then, on the other side, we have our second giant, severe gum disease, or what doctors call periodontitis. And get this, it's the 6th most common human disease on the entire planet. Over 11% of the global population has it. That's almost 800 million people, more than the entire population of Europe, all living with a chronic inflammatory disease right in their mouths. So you gotta wonder, right? What happens when these two massive health problems collide? Well, that's exactly what a group of top experts from the European Federation of Periodontology and the World Heart Federation wanted to find out. They dug through all the evidence, and their big 2020 report is what we're basing this explainer on. And let me tell you, what they found is a real eye-opener. And the answer they came back with is, honestly, it's pretty staggering. The link between unhealthy gums and an unhealthy heart isn't just some random coincidence. Nope, there is a clear, scientifically backed connection. So let's really dig into what the evidence says. The report found a super strong link between periodontitis and coronary heart disease. That's the one that affects the blood vessels supplying the heart muscle. And believe me, the evidence just keeps piling up from there. It's not just a general risk either. People with gum disease have a significantly higher chance of suffering their first heart attack. But wait, it doesn't stop at the heart. This thing actually goes up to your brain. One huge study found that if you have periodontitis, your risk for certain kinds of strokes is more than double. I mean, think about that for a second. Double. That's a massive jump, and it's tied directly to what's going on in your mouth. And honestly, the list just keeps going. They found strong links to a higher risk for both heart failure and atrial fibrillation, that irregular heartbeat. The main takeaway here is this. This isn't a localized mouth problem. It's a full-body systemic issue that affects your entire cardiovascular system. And it all starts with your gums. Don't just take my word for it. Here's a direct quote from that big expert report. The evidence is consistent and strong. I mean, in the world of science, that's about as clear as it gets. This isn't some wild theory. It's a real, proven risk. Okay, so if you're anything like me, your next question is probably, how? Right? How on earth can a problem in your gums cause all this chaos for your heart? Well, let's follow the evidence. It all comes down to a fascinating chain reaction that starts with inflammation. You see, periodontitis creates these tiny little openings in your gums, which is basically like leaving the front door wide open for bacteria to just waltz right into your bloodstream. And this isn't a one-time thing. It's happening every time you eat, every time you brush. So now these bacteria are cruising around your body and your immune system naturally freaks out. It sounds a system-wide alarm. And that constant state of alarm, that chronic inflammation, that is the real bad guy here because it's a huge driver for clogging up your arteries. And that whole artery clogging process, it's got a name you've probably heard, atherosclerosis. It's that silent creep of plaque, this nasty gunk made of fat and cholesterol that builds up, making your arteries hard and narrow. And the inflammation coming from your gums, it's like pouring gasoline on that fire. It just makes the whole dangerous process happen faster and with more punch. Here's a great way to think about it. A normal, healthy, inflammatory response is like a fire alarm. It goes off when there's a fire, it does its job, and then it shuts off. Simple. But the chronic inflammation from gum disease, that's like a fire alarm that's broken and just will not stop ringing 24/7. That constant blaring puts your whole system, especially your blood vessels, under incredible stress, and it just keeps feeding that dangerous plaque buildup.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty scary, but this brings us to the most important part of the whole story. The good news. If gum disease is part of the problem, could treating it be part of the solution? Let's see what the report says.
I mean, this is the big question, right? If you actually go in and treat the periodontitis, does it make a real difference for your heart? Well, the evidence is looking really, really promising. So check this out. The data is pretty clear. When you treat gum disease, it actually lowers systemic inflammation. It helps shut off that screaming fire alarm we talked about. It also improves the health of the lining of your blood vessels, which is huge. There's even some limited evidence it can help lower blood pressure. Now, it doesn't seem to touch cholesterol, but hey, those other impacts? Those are major wins for your heart health. And you know what? It's not just about damage control. The science also points strongly towards prevention. We're talking big studies that have found that really simple habits, like just brushing your teeth and going to the dentist, are linked to a lower risk of having a heart attack or a stroke to begin with. All right, so we've connected the dots, we've seen how it works, and we know that treatment can help. So now, let's turn all this what if into a what to do. Here is your action plan. First things first, you gotta know what you're looking for because gum disease can be really sneaky. The report points to these key signs. Are your gums red or swollen? Do they bleed a little when you brush? Do any of your teeth feel a bit loose? Are new gaps showing up between your teeth? Or do you have a bad taste in your mouth or bad breath that just won't go away? If you're nodding along to any of these, don't just brush it off. It's time to see a professional. And finally, here it is. Your simple, powerful action plan, straight from the experts. This is all about consistency. Brush twice a day. And not just a quick scrub, we're talking 2 full minutes, every single day. You've got to clean between your teeth. Get a dental checkup at least once a year. And this last one is so important. Talk to your dentist. Tell them about your overall health, especially if you have any heart issues or are on any meds. It's time we stop thinking of dental health and heart health as 2 separate things. And that really brings us full circle. After all this, it's pretty clear that taking care of your gums is about way more than just a bright smile. So let me leave you with this question. When you think about your next dental checkup, are you thinking about it as part of your heart care plan? Because maybe you should.